to do anything at the highest level, it requires a certain level, amount of commitment and dedication, and that takes time. And time is not infinite. You can only spread your time out so much, right? So when it's family, fighting, business, like if you want to be the best businessman, your family is going to suffer for that. You want to be the best fighter, your family's going to suffer. You want to be the best dad, business and fighting is going to, you know? So you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose.
Welcome back to another episode of High Value Discussions. Today's episode is one that means a lot to me personally. As many of you know, my journey in mixed martial arts has been a crucial part of my life, not only as a fighter, but as a man. And in this episode, I'm sitting down with somebody who's been there with me every step of the way. Not only is my guest more than a well-experienced, accomplished fighter, he's a mentor, a coach, a devoted family man, a martial arts instructor, a soldier of God, and a brother. May 24th in San Francisco will mark his final walk to the cage. It's hard to put into words what that really means because it isn't just about another fight. This is a culmination of years of sacrifice, dedication, and unwavering faith. What sets him apart is not just his skill inside the cage, but his character outside of it. His faith in God, his love for his family, and his commitment to passing on knowledge to the next generation of fighters. As a coach, he's given back to the sport in ways that goes way beyond wins and losses. This game is about more than just fighting. It's about showing others what's possible when you pour everything into your craft, when you stay grounded in your faith, and never lose sight of the objective. This conversation is special. It's a chance to honor a fighter, a mentor, and a brother. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Anthony, the Antidote, Do. When did you walk into redemption, and what was the process like of entering redemption? And obviously, welcoming back faith into your life.
Well, all right, I'll start with, I can't talk about this without, bringing up my fiance, Tanandi, and she's always tried to kind of push me towards that path. And it's not like I was not open to it. I was like, all right, I'll go. But it was more, I'll go for you, and with my experiences in life, bro, like all the ups and downs, like I always had it was always over my shoulder, right? Walking with it, especially with fighting. I remember like stepping into right before I step into the cage, I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like, I need God, what I mean, to step into this cage with me right now. And it was like not for the right reasons, and also obviously I wasn't like living by the word either, and I'm, we all are trying to, right? So, and I had kind of a moment where in my life, it was all bad. Like I was like going through a divorce. I was dealing with loss in my professional career for the first time, many things like family, like all around the board. And I have to rewind this because I remember, I have to say maybe 2018-ish, right? This is at AK Sunnyvale, okay? We hired a black belt jiu-jitsu instructor, and he was a cool guy. And I was going through my stuff at this time, and I remember training, and then I'm on the mat, and this guy walks up to me. I never met him before. And he's like, "Can I pray for you?" And I'm like, "Brother, we're on the mat." Like, people are looking at me, I'm feeling away. I'm like, "Hey, because I'm not there, you know. But at this point, dude, I was going through so much stuff. I was just like, all right, why not?
Yeah.
You know. And this dude prayed for me on the mat. Everybody's like giving weird looks and stuff. And Alex Kimbabian, he's always been also another big light in my life to kind of push me towards that path. He bought me my first Bible, you know. I still have it, you know, and he's always been like giving me scripture unknowingly, like in the corner. And then I'm getting to the word now, and I'm like, bro, that's a chapter, you know. And he's like, yes, you know. It's hilarious, you know, how it circled back that way. But in this moment, I was just like, yo, I'm down bad, and it's cool, pray for me, you know. Yeah. And we start doing these Bible studies behind the front desk at the gym, you know, while I'm like in between classes teaching and training and stuff. And like, I could tell like it was, you know, you're getting all these looks from like people just want to train, you know what I mean? And so we're getting like into the word, and there's some point, I don't remember what, like a couple months in, where like I kind of just started like straying again. And there's, you know, to this day, there's still things like I question, you know what I mean, that I battled with. And I forgot, we didn't necessarily get into a disagreement about something, but it was just like, I was like, oh, I don't know about that, you know? And then it kind of turned me off again. And I kind of went my way and try to figure things out on my own, you know? And Isaiah, if you're out there, thank you. You know? Funny story, he's actually, I think he got his black belt from Benil Dariush.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
Dang.
And he'd be preaching the word after every fight too. And I was like, I see, you know? So yeah, that was cool. And then, so I just want to like I had to bring it back to that because it wasn't like, oh, I just got into it and I'm like, oh, this is it.
There's a whole journey before that.
It's peaks and valleys, and it goes beyond that too, you know? Like we talked about before the show, my mom was Buddhist. My dad was Catholic, not really. Like, you know, I was baptized young as a Catholic, but more so, I think just because my parents like felt like that was something that we needed to do for me. But you know, the thing is, like I'm finding is we all have our time to walk that path, you know, and it can't be forced upon you. And in that moment, I think back then, it was being pushed on me a little bit, and that's what turned me off. I was like, oh, like I don't know yet. Like nobody can walk that path for you, right? They can walk it with you, can't walk it for you. And now, with my relationship with Tanandian, she's kind of brought that back into my life. And recently, to answer your question that you asked like 10 minutes ago, we started attending Redemption probably like late December, early January, right around that new year, you know, and we've been going ever since.
I went there. I think this is probably the 4th or 5th time me being there. Yeah. And I remember my dear sister Kalani, she's the one that introduced me there because she's been going there for ages. And her whole family go there, beautiful people. And she just knew, because she knew me, she was like, hey, this is going to be the place for you. Yeah. And then the first day, it was like, going back to like how when I saw you, it was like a high. Yeah. You know, it was like, man, it feels like how it used to feel like, you know, because I've been through a lot of churches, I have. And kind of like what you were saying, that a lot of it, turned me off. And I think I paid attention too much on like the pushing, you know, like people pushing me into it and doing this. So it almost like I did it for them and not for me. Yeah. So this time it's like, no, I did it for me. A lot of things in my life, I'm very blessed. And I feel like the way I honor that blessing is by honoring him and by going to his house and sticking to my roots, because that's where I came from. That's where I was born into.
Like with my fiance, bro, like the power of the word, the tongue, it's like I'm starting to realize not just like saying things negatively, like watch what you say, watch what, like you're swearing and stuff, but communication, bro. Like we'd never been closer, you know, because I'm willing to have like these hard conversations I wasn't willing to before. Yeah. Because honestly, I don't think I cared about anybody like that before, you know? But I'm like, man, so much growth. But the last 5 years, you know what I mean? Just being with this woman, like, It's crazy.
Bro, so the last time I saw you, when was that? It's been years, which kind of makes me mad.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
Right?
that, brother. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Hey, no, it ain't you. It's like we were talking off air. It takes two to tango.
Yes.
Honestly, bro, a lot of us, we're too busy for our own good.
Yeah, that's
You know?
exactly what it is. I find like I saw Justin right before this,
Yeah.
and I feel like every time I see him, unfortunately, we're having the same conversation. It's like, bro, when are we gonna kick it? Let's go do this. And so let me say this too, and I'm gonna seem like the biggest jerk, right? But so he introduced me and to Nandian,
Shout
right?
out.
But he has not met our daughter, who's freaking 3 now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, and it's because like we get so caught up in our stuff, you know, and it's like we just gotta like make that call sometimes, as uncomfortable as it is, and you know, especially this is something I'm learning now more than ever because of like I don't have a fight on the calendar. I tore my knee like maybe 8 months ago, and I re-injured it probably 3 times within those months because I was like, I gotta get back in. So I was like, after the last time it popped, I just sat there and I was like, okay, and message received. You know, I'm gonna chill a little bit. And I really took the time to take care of this knee, and now it's getting to a point where, you know, I'm training like live and doing all that again, but I'm not doing like we spoke of 3 a days every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because of that, I have more time available with my family.
Yeah.
And it's not like I wasn't present. I'm always there for my girls, but it's different. You know that, like the focus it takes to like pursue professional fighting at a high level, bro. And like now that I have this time, I'm starting to be more sensitive and open to the like everything outside of fighting, you know, relationships with everybody. And, you know, you're like, dang, I've been like neglecting a lot of people. You know what I mean? People I care about too.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love these people, but like when you're on that path and you're like, oh, I gotta get it, you know?
We have to put attention towards our family also, right?
Yeah.
Also to our tasks that we want to do on a day-to-day basis. And it's to the point where we barely have time to ourselves, you know? So when we talk about like getting together, we talk about schedules, so on and so forth. Bro. Exactly. But
like mentally.
Exactly. But it's also like, man, I barely have time to myself and I'm trying to recoup.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like sometimes people use that day to just recover, to get back, to get clear-headed and just get back on their feet, etc. Exactly. Because as you get older, man, it doesn't get a little harder. It's just responsibilities rise. Yeah. You know what I mean? They rise, but at the same time, we have to put attention to our people. And we can't forget, man, because all of us, we're all bad at it. Yeah. A lot of people are bad at it. We all say like, we're going to stick together and this and that. And it is, because you and I, no matter how much time flies by, you're my brother for life. Yeah. And just like when we saw each other that time, it was like nothing changed. Just like when we're recouping now, it's like nothing's ever changed and nothing ever will change, bro, because we're just so in sync that way. But at the same time, what's wrong with grabbing dinner? What's wrong with grabbing lunch? What's wrong with like going, seeing the girls, seeing each other with the family, so on and so forth, family events, etc. Church afterwards, go hang out, like stuff like that matters.
This is something I was talking about with Justin right before too. Like to do anything at the highest level, it requires a certain level, amount of commitment and dedication, and that takes time. And time is not infinite. You can only spread your time out so much. Yeah. Right. So when it's family, fighting, business, like if you want to be the best businessman, your family is going to suffer for that. You want to be the best fighter, your family's going to suffer. You want to be the best dad, business and fighting is going to, you know? So you have to pick and choose. Yeah. You have to pick and choose.
Brother, my girlfriend at the time, when I was fighting, she had a very tough time because I was very verbally honest that like, hey, you are second place here. Yeah. Fighting is number one. That is my priority. She did not like that. She didn't like how...
I don't know a woman that will.
A significant other is already like powerful, right? but your little mini-me's walking around.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm such a baby with my niece. I don't want to leave her sight. I
Yeah.
always want to
It's
be
tough,
I
dude.
always want to be connected with her. And every time we depart, I get emotional.
Yeah.
I get emotional. I remember that one time where she told me where it was like, you know, you always leave. You always have to go. I'm like, dude, like, that is rough that
Yeah.
you recognize that at such a young age. But I was like, the things that I have to do on a day-to-day basis is so I can give you that time that you deserve. But at the same time, they want it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance that, especially when you were active, when your career, you were training like 3 times a day, having one day off out of the entire week? How did you balance that as being a professional, high-level athlete and being a father?
So I'd say that to answer that, there's like 2 versions of that. One, like, and when I say 2 versions, I mean in the past and then presently, right? When I had Kyrie, it was just me and her. So it wasn't, I didn't really have to have that balance, to be honest. Like, she was with me. Like, she was in the gym with me too. That was my little road dog, you know? She's on the mat with me every day. I'd be teaching classes. She's in her little rocker right next to me.
I remember.
You know, yeah, you remember. I'm training. I'm bringing her to the room. I'm getting like cage rounds in. She's over here like screaming too. You know what I mean? And actually, that's funny. Nia is also doing that now too. But the thing is, like, both of these girls, they have like this mother now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is the difference, because if it's just me, I'm only getting one. Those girls are only getting one side of it, right? I'm just like, all right, I gotta fight. Let's roll. You're still spending time with me. You know, it's all good. But time in the gym, and then time outside of it, like doing anything else just like with them, is not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And very hard to balance, you know, especially like, you know, times you have to go overseas to go fight or something. They don't understand that. You know, I'm not really away from my daughters like that. The longest time I've been away from them is like when I have to do that. Otherwise, like, they're still with me, you know? So definitely hard to balance. The biggest thing that helped me out, like, my fiance, she's been bringing this, like, we have a home now, you know what I mean? It's like a home. Like, I really feel that more than ever, and it's really beautiful, you know? And in the past, I could be, like we spoke of, when you're on that path, bro, it could be a little selfish, you know? And the girls don't understand that in the moment. And now, me being a dad, I understand what my parents did for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the same way. Yeah. I would say the same thing. I'm like, where's my dad at? He's like, and not to talk bad about my dad, he's like the best dad ever, in my opinion, you know? Like, I love that man. And but I was like, this guy's gone all day, you know? But he's working. You know, when you become a man and you realize like what he's doing out there, it's a whole nother respect. Yeah. Same thing with my mother. You know what I mean? Like, they make so much sacrifices, and now, like, I'm a parent, and Kyrie's getting to an age where she's not like a toddler anymore. Yeah. She's got her own like specific interests, and she wants to do this, and she's got her own group of friends, and she wants to do this and that, you know? I start to realize like how challenging being a parent really is, and the sacrifices that parents make on a day-to-day basis that is like unspoken. And if you were to talk about it, sometimes I catch myself doing this with Kyrie. I'll be like out of frustration, like, oh, like, babe, you don't understand, like, you know, but she's a child. It's not her job to understand. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not her job. For instance, that last fight I had with A1, right? Nia, I would bring her to the gym every day, but I'm doing cage rounds. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for a while, I was like kind of hesitant to do that because like everybody's got fights. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I didn't want to take away from like my teammates who have big fights as well and stuff. And I remember one day I was rolling, and Nia's in the corner in her little playpen just like screaming. She's like, "Daddy, Daddy, just yelling, and all the fighters are like, bro, like looking around, at me, and then I'm running back and forth trying to like cater to her. And I'm like, hey, hold on, bro, I'll be right back. I'm mounted on mounted on this dude beating his, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, hold on, stay right here. Go check on her, come back, and just go back to being this dude's ass, And it's hilarious. But I remember I talked to our coach Ron Kessler, and I was like, Ron, like, I don't know, just out of like guiltiness or something. I was just like, out of guilt, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, like, she's just, she's a kid. And he knows he has children, and he's just like, why are you apologizing for her? He's like, if any of these guys cannot focus with a little toddler screaming, they should not step into the cage. And I was like, damn, thank you. That, and then I went to work,
You're doing all these things, and I'm just like, man, the fact you can juggle that in time, it's very impressive. Because fighting is already a struggle. Fighting is already tough. Fighting is already so hard. Yeah. And parenting is so hard. Just like you said, like you can't put words to it. I can't put words to it because I've never experienced it. But I see the sacrifices outside. And the older I get, the more I understand. I'm like, dang, dude, like my family went through hell. Like my aunts and my uncles went through hell.
Perspective, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
And to the point where it's like, it kind of gives you that wake-up call. You're like, damn, I was stupid when I was young. Yeah. Made some dumb mistakes.
Oh my God.
Talked back when I should have never talked back. I was like, wow, what was I thinking? Does that scare you as your daughters get older? There are going to be those moments where they talk back.
I'm thinking about, they're talking back now. They're talking back now, bro. Even my little 3-year-old. We were trying to put her to sleep last night. Me and my fiance and I, and we're just like, she's kicking my leg. Just like, boom, boom. I'm like, baby, please stop kicking my leg. Boom, boom. I'm like, babe. And then my fiance is like, Nia. She grabs her like to try to like caress her. She's like, hey, it's okay. Like, it's time for bed, And then she turns and looks at her and she's like, keep your hands to yourself, And I'm trying not to laugh because I'm that guy. Every time they do something disrespectful or like,
that's me. That's
so hard, dude.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not trying to do that. And then when I laugh, they just go with it. They're like, oh, it's funny. Let me keep doing this.
We could just keep doing this now.
I'm like, I'm sorry, babe.
Dude, and they grow up so fast.
So fast, bro.
You want more?
We're debating, dude. Like, I want to experience like having a boy. That's like something I want to do, but at the same time I'm like, I'm okay. Like I'm okay if it's Kyrie and Nia. I'm okay if we had another girl. You know what I mean? I love being a girl dad.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's what is meant for me. You know what I mean? I needed that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The older I get, man, I remember I used to say I want 2 kids. The older I get, I'm like, no, I want 6 now.
Yeah. For some reason I always said 4 just because like my parents had 4, but I'm like, 2's cool. 2's enough, And then I think about my life, dude. Like, my siblings are like, oh man, like angels compared to me. You know what I mean? Like this stuff. I feel like of the 4 kids, which is weird because we grew up in the same house. Like I just like, bro.
Yeah.
So tough. I feel so. I'm so. I want to say I feel so bad, but no, I do a little bit, but I feel so grateful, bro. Yeah. That like I have these parents who like always stuck by my side, no matter what, and like helped me to, like make my dreams come true. And even though it's like the scariest thing, you know what I mean? Like yesterday, I was telling you earlier, somebody called me about a fight, and then I was like, babe, what's going on? May 20, whatever the date was, And she's like, no. And then immediately, I can hear my mom over there too. Yeah. She's like, no, don't ever step in there again. You know what I mean? And that's tough because I'm like, oh,
So when you were last on this, not on this podcast, you were on my other show years ago. And this is when you were active, you were fighting, you were training, etc. And obviously there was so much, like we were saying, there was ups and downs. There was a lot of things that were happening in life. And now it's like things are kind of put on a pause, I want to say. And I think I asked you this on church on how everything is when it comes to the whole fight career and if you were going to fight again.
Yeah.
And you said, I'm meditating on it. So I kind of want to dig more into that. So you're getting these calls.
Yeah.
And I know you. and you know me.
Yeah.
And we always have that urge because no matter how much we change, that monster, that animal is always going to be inside us. You cannot take that out of you, no matter what happens. And it's almost like we try. It's not going to happen. No matter how much love and care we're surrounded by, support, that animal's always there. But there was a pause. There was a halt. There was a thing where you're like, I'm meditating on this, Daniel, where I'm contemplating retirement.
Yeah.
Are you?
Actually, yes, I am considering it, and I've been considering it for a while. So, but I'm like, I'm battling with it because I don't know. And I don't want to be the guy who retires and comes back and like right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's annoying. Like,
Right.
I'm not trying to judge, but like, bro,
4 or 5 years later, like 5 months later.
So if I say it, I want to mean it. And I'm, that's why I don't want to make that decision yet. Cause I don't know. Cause I'm 31 right now, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm more than capable. I just don't know if like I want to,
Because as
like
you go,
I want to, but do I want to do all that every single day, all day? I mean, I am right now, but it's hard for me because I'm like, okay, I'm 31. I always tell myself when I'm 35, I'll get out, and that's not that far.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what if I just buy down and just do it, But I'm telling you, I don't know, but I feel like if I were to do that, I would still feel the same, like as I am now. Like even if I retired at 35 and I did what I said I wanted to do, I'm still gonna want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like
45 too.
Yeah, like I mean, you're still gonna want to do it, but like, do you need to? Like, I don't know. And then obviously, a lot of stuff with my girls, my family, like they're getting older, and I'm like starting to experience this time with them and like really be a lot more present. Like when I'm not like, cause I'll like, don't get me wrong, I'm a very present father, but like when I'm there with them, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about like the date, the next training session, what I did wrong, the last one, am I getting enough rest, this and that. I'm not even there, sometimes. So lately, because I haven't had like a actual fight sign and like the injuries and all this stuff going on, it's like I've been there and I've actually been there, and I feel like my girls can feel that,
I remember when I left the fight game, I really genuinely felt free because I was like,
a little bit,
I was like, time. When I would go visit my family every weekend from training camps, I was sleeping. Not even with them.
Always, bro.
And I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like when I go, I'm sleeping on the couch all day while everybody's having fun, watching TV, etc. Vacations? No, I
like
can't.
you're there, but you're not there.
Exactly.
Right?
And then now, bro, it's a different ball game, man. You know
It's
what
hard,
you know what I
man.
love though doing is taking that day by day. Like talking to yourself internally like that and really asking yourself those serious questions. Like, I got my daughters back home. I got my fiance back home. I have my responsibilities that I need to take care of as a man. Obviously, I have this fight career that was my entire life. Do I really want to walk away from this? Am I ready to walk away from this? What is it going to feel like when I walk away from this? What's the purpose after fighting?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I feel like a lot of athletes struggle with.
Yeah.
I remember Theo, when I had him on my podcast, he said that too. He was like, man, like he was kind of like shocked how me and Justin kind of transitioned so fast. And I was like, look, man, I know we're all skillful at something. It's just we need to find that, and I think fighters have the greatest edge over a lot of people. And in my experience of entering these specific rooms, for some odd reason, when they know you're an athlete, people take you a little bit, not even a little bit, a lot more serious. And the fact that you are in a professional status, it says something. It says something about you. And what I love about MMA is there's so many disciplines you're learning all at once. And then when you're in that cage, you need to implement all of them. Nearly. The fights are all different, but you nearly have to be complete. So it's the same thing out of life. I'm multi-skilled in a lot of things. I just got to place them somewhere else.
Yep.
Do you have those conversations? Because one thing that I love about you, You're a phenomenal mentor. You're a phenomenal coach. Every time you conducted practices, every time you passed down knowledge and wisdom during my fight career, it was almost like, oh, it made so much sense rather than some clip that I see on YouTube, some other coach that I saw from the internet say something to their athlete. I was like, okay, Ant knows what he's talking about because obviously he gave his whole life to this. And I knew, I had an idea. I was like, I could see him just going coaching. I could see him just being one of the best coaches in the fight game. And obviously, if you look at his whole career, they call you the Matrix for a reason, because they'll look at clips of you like, this doesn't make any sense. This guy's everywhere. And I hated sparring with you for that reason. I was like, dude, chill. Stop moving.
Yeah,
but have you thought about that, the fulfillment after fighting? Because we get so much fulfillment during our fight career, that glory that we get of the training camps, how we get better day by day, the heartaches day by day. But there has to be something after that too. Have you had those talks within yourself and with your family?
Yes, I have. So luckily, like, I guess similarly to you and Justin, I've always kind of had that exit plan in mind, or at least an idea of what I wanted to do after fighting. And it is what you're talking about, right? Coaching and mentoring. I've always wanted, and I mean, I've been coaching since 2011.
Yeah, forever.
For a while, yeah. And mainly when I started, it was to supplement my training, like I got to pay this gym membership. I'm going to teach these classes and be an instructor here and there. And so I started like teaching. I was basically teaching every kind of class you could. I was teaching a kids jiu-jitsu program, MMA program, like Monday through Friday. And I was teaching jiu-jitsu classes in the morning before I would go to my training, privates in between, and I would run the gym at night with like boxing, kickboxing, and like gi classes. So I've been able to get really good at communicating, right? Because that's a big thing with being a great coach or a mentor, is like being able to get the idea of something across to multiple people in different ways, because not everybody receives knowledge like the same way, right? Some guys are more visual. Some guys, you can tell them what to do and they're so athletic, right? You don't even have to tell them. They can watch you do it, and then they'll do it, right? And then some guys are more analytical and they need like things broken down, like step by step, right? And you got to be able to bring that point across to multiple people from different backgrounds and experiences, yeah?
And even for you too, because you've had a variety of coaches by your side. You have so many mentors along your side during that fight game. Was there a few attributes that you took from them that you took into your own game when it comes to mentoring and coaching?
Yeah, of course. Like for example, I can't talk to you without bringing up Rick.
Yeah.
Right? Rick Soto. He's one of the like greatest mentors I have. Him, Alex Kimbabian. There's so many people like that have like helped touch my life. Mike Prudencio, Ron Kessler, Javier Mendez, right? All these guys have like had a play in helping me become the man I am today, right? And I've learned many different skills and mentalities to approach not just like fighting, but life from these gentlemen, right? Rick Soto is a huge one, right? The way I see now coaches like talking about or doing drills that we were doing in his garage, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
when we're amateurs, you know what I mean? And I remember like sometimes like coaches at that time were just like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But look how things circle around, right? And sometimes it's just not going with the same mentality as everybody else, taking a step back and then kind of keeping an open mind, right? Or seeing the whole picture, as he would say, right? That's a huge one as well.
A lot can happen during that cage. And also cornering. And when I would always like pay attention to Rick's emotions when he was cornering, he was stressed to the gills. And I was like, you look like a man who deals with stress very, very well. But his biggest stress when cornering us is like, I just want you guys to be safe. He's like, I'm petrified for your guys' health, because if you guys get hurt, it's nearly on me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn. So in a way, do you look at it like that? There's a lot of trust that goes into cornering. Some people just take it like, hey, can you corner me? I have a fight coming up. Some people don't take it seriously like that. But to me, if you're cornering me, it's because I trust you. So, and if for me to corner, it's like I would be a nervous wreck.
Yes.
Because if we drilled, we studied, we did everything accordingly, but somehow he's laying flat on the ground.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about those moments? And like, I know you've dealt with those moments where your fighters won and your fighters lost. So you've had both ways, but how is your approach when it comes to cornering? And it's going to happen in the future where the high level, it's just going to keep increasing.
Yeah.
So what's your approach when it comes to cornering?
My experience cornering, I've done it at various different levels, right? Like from the beginner doing his first jiu-jitsu tournament, to like someone doing his first like kickboxing smoker, to the amateur fighter, to the professional, right? At a high level. And one thing I'll say is I remember Rick, right? When he met my dad, our first fight, when he met him, he's just like, he introduced himself and he said, "You are his father," right? Outside of that cage, but tonight when he steps in there, like, I'm gonna like be that for him, you know, like I'm gonna bring him home safe. You know what I mean? And that was like really beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And that's like something you should definitely take into account, like
For
getting
sure.
them home safely. Like I've had guys like, and I'm always there for the guys, like even guys on the pro team who like, they need somebody to corner. I'm there for them, you know? But I prefer like working with somebody more like one-on-one, getting like an actual like relationship with them than like just stepping into to corner somebody, right? Because then you need some trust in the corner too. Like,
Yeah.
like if we don't even work together and you don't respect me that way, you're not gonna take my advice. I'm there to hold the bucket essentially, and that's okay. I'll do that for you too. You know, I'm there for you, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's different, right? Cornering my brother, and he's cornered me. You know, so
That's crazy.
yeah, and see with him, it's like kind of what you were speaking on earlier. Like I want his coaches to be like, you know, the guys working with him, and I guess like you could consider me his coach, but also I don't really look at him like that.
Yeah.
I see him right next to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm ahead of him, or he's behind me, or vice versa. Like I see him like he's right next to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm gonna be this upcoming fight, right? He's making his professional debut in May, and I'll be there in his corner, you know, and it's gonna be interesting because I think this is gonna be the first one. Like Rick might not be in there, you know, and it'll just be me and maybe Jeremy, and who knows, maybe Ron can hop in there. I know he'll be there, but yeah, that's gonna be something unique too. And when he's cornering me, that's something, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like my little brother. Right, but we've been like I said, we've been there together, like in those training sessions. Like that last fight, he was one of my main sparring partners, like probably my main sparring partner. He helped me out the most, you know. And I was like gutted when they raised that other dude's hand. You know what I mean? Because I was like, damn, like I just wanted to win with my brother there. You know what I mean? That's like something I want so bad because unfortunately, like the times like he's cornered me, like I wasn't able to pull it off, you know, and that like hurts me. I'm like, damn, you know, I want to show him that, you know.
He put so much effort and it paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, it's rough. It's a rough game, you know, because you lose a piece of yourself in there, you know what I mean? Especially, I mean, if you walk out unscathed, that's great. You know, if there's times where you don't walk unscathed and you leave an imprint in that cage and you leave it there. You can't take it back home.
I remember, was it a couple fights ago? We fought down in San Diego, and then he went down with me, and bro, what a trip. Like that fight was wild. That first punch that was thrown, dude, I broke my whole left side of my face. Like I broke my orbital in 3 different spots. Here, 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 and then I broke my nose. I'm pretty sure you can tell. It's a little different, right? Yeah. So that was, and he was in the ambulance with me, like throughout different cities, like sending me up and down. Freaking my eye was dropping into
Dude.
my orbital. I guess it's like what it called. It's called like entrapment or something,
Yeah.
right? They had to freaking get in there with some pliers and like open that thing up and pull that thing out. And he was just there, dude. You know what I mean? Him, Katrina, Humbert, Jeremy, like they were there for me, you know? And it's not easy going through that stuff. That's the other thing. It's like that I consider a little bit more going into like fights more, because that was like really scary for my daughters and like my fiance. Like,
Yeah.
bro, when are you coming home? I couldn't get on my flight because they didn't want me to.
Yeah, you can't fly like that.
You know what I mean? I didn't know that until well, I didn't know my eye was broken. I just went to the hospital to get my nose reset, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do that because your whole thing is like collapsing." And I was like, "Oh, okay," you know. So I ended up like staying there over the couple days until they can get some guys to like get my eye back out, you know. And yeah, unfortunate, because that fight, man, felt good.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of that, like that was the first punch, and they didn't even drop me. It was just like I immediately knew.
Weird impact though, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't see, you know, and that's like scary in there. You know what I mean? I know guys don't like to say that, but you're in there and you're like, bro, I can't see.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh damn. But yeah, even in that fight, I was like, that's something I'm really happy about in myself. Like I know, like with adversity, like I'm not one to, you know, shy away or like take a step back. So, and you can take that into anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In life, especially. And yeah, kept moving forward. I ended up like dropping with a big right hand towards the end, but the referee stopped us in between rounds, and obviously I'm like, what? But then I got out, and I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Is that why you're also kind of putting a pause and like maybe
a little bit
questioning about the career because the injuries? Because they say when you break an orbital, it's career ending and, you know, eye threatening.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they say. I broke this orbital too. Damn. I don't know if you knew that one. I broke this one in Japan. The last time I fought in Japan, that was crazy.
Bro.
Because I got on the plane and I went, dude. I remember I didn't know it was broken either. But actually, that fight was wild because I went into that fight with like a rib injury. So I was more worried about the rib.
I remember that thing was poking out.
Yeah, it was poking out. So actually, it's still poking out. But it doesn't hurt anymore. And I remember in that fight, like, I fought this dude. He was like the number 2 ranked.
Lito, what is the name? Lito?
That was a crazy fight too.
That was wild.
That one was in Singapore.
Yes, I remember that.
But this other guy was like a jiu-jitsu specialist.
I remember that one. I remember. Yes,
and this was like a big thing for me, bro. I'll get into this fight because, like, the first time I fought in Japan. Oh man, like we talked about this a little bit. You know, we can get into that too.
Yeah,
but I guess I can. I'll start there. Let me talk about the significance of this fight for me. You know what I mean? When Kyrie was first born, I was like maybe 3-4-0. Like I just got a belt somewhere, and I got this offer to fight this kid in Japan. Not a kid, you know. I just talk like that. I'm not trying to demean anybody, but to fight this guy in Japan, and he was up there very highly ranked. But the thing is, like, for my weight, like, as you know, like if you're fighting at flyweight, 125, most guys are cutting weight from a lot heavier. Yeah. Like maybe it's 45 to 50 sometimes.
I was 49.
Yeah, right?
I was a big boy.
And you're going all the way down to 25. So when you fight, you're rehydrated and you're back up. So I was doing this for a while, and I was able to do pretty well at flyweight. But naturally, I'm kind of a smaller dude, right? So they start exploring this other weight class, strawweight, 115. I'm like, 115? Jesus Christ, like, I don't even know if I can make that, you know what I mean? And so I take this fight in Japan against this guy, and it's my first time cutting weight. And at this time, I'm about to have Kyrie, right? And she's about the way, like we were talking about before, right? talking about this now, I'm like, dude, I would never do this to my fiance. You know what I mean? Like, so that was, like we said, we get caught up in our stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I was on that path. I'm like, yo, this could be it. This is a big fight. I'm about to go to Japan for the first time. And my first daughter, Kyrie, she ends up being like born maybe a week before I have to fly out to Japan, right? And there's so much going on at this time. But to me, I'm like, I can do anything. You know what I mean? And we talk about like the signs, right? Like there's times I'm falling asleep driving, like trying to get to these like 3-a-day practices. I remember we spoke about that prior. Like one day I was leaving the training, I'm at the light, and then I kind of nod off for a second, and I wake up in the middle of the intersection, and guys are just like honking at me, like, what are you doing? Like, get the hell out of here. Like, what are you doing, man? And I was like, oh man, I'm like, ooh, that was close. Went right back to training, and kept doing it, and that would happen multiple times.
Consistent.
And I'm just like, I don't care. I'm going to keep going. I'm cutting weight, not the right way. Like, this is my first time cutting weight. I was eating bullshit, like throwing it up just to make the weight. Like, just the terrible
I remember
stuff.
you were small too, man. I remember even when you posted the weigh-in video and the weigh-in photos, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it was small.
Yeah.
Because you always, every time you fought, it was like your natural weight class. Like 25 was like, you were full. You were like satiated.
Yes.
But cutting weight for you was a whole different thing.
That was bad, dude. 115's, but so luckily, Kyrie's born, she's healthy and everything. And man, like, this is like a kind of tough for me to talk about, but like, I remember just not sleeping at all, and this is, I'm not trying to boo-hoo me, like, yo, like, someone just gave birth, you know what I mean? Like, let's not, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm like, not sleeping, my weight is like stupid low, and I'm like trying to make this weight. And I remember we left the hospital, and I freaking passed out, dude, and I ran into the sidewall, and I woke up, and I was just like, what just happened? I turned around, and like, by the grace of God, like, Kyrie's okay, everything's okay. But dude, like, your first like couple hours as a father, that went to like a super dark place, bro. Like, man, like, I just felt like the biggest failure, piece of shit. I'm like, how am I gonna be a dad, bro? I was a dad for like 5 minutes and I fucked up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't even know if Kyrie knows that.
It's just part of the journey. And it's gut-wrenching that it has to happen that way. But man, chaos does a weird thing with people. Like, you make adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
When we lose a fight, you make adjustments.
Yeah.
Life happens.
When something like that happens, you make adjustments. Bro, I get tired. I'm pulling over, bro. Yeah. I sleep on the side of the road if I get tired now. I don't give a shit, dude.
Is that where the alarm went off?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Wake up, bro.
You're all like this to the phone.
Exactly, right? And no, but for real, like, you got to take those signs too, And so that fight, I go off anyway.
Yeah.
Like, and then, bro, that fight, my first professional loss, I made the weight, but it was like, it killed me.
Yeah.
It killed me. And then I messed up the weight cut even more because I'm in Japan. I made the weight. I'm like, let's go here. And I never.
You never had to do that.
Never had to do that. And I was throwing up, like, we're walking out in the streets of Tokyo, like, the night before the fight. I'm like yakking, like, throwing up everything. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm throwing up everything. And I'm still like bloated and like vomiting. Like, I don't even know what's coming out anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's okay. It's going to be good. I'm going to wake up tomorrow Be ready to go.
I'm Anthony Doe.
Yeah, I'm Anthony Doe. I wake up, bro. Same feeling. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, okay, we got a couple hours until the bus comes, picks us up to the venue. I'll be good when the bus comes. Bus comes, I sit down. I'm like, oh, I'll be good when we check in. We're backstage. I'm like, bro. I remember like I'm behind the curtain, wrapped up. We're about to walk out, and I see him on the side, and we're just like looking at each other, like sizing each other up, and I'm just like, it'll be good when I get in the cage. You know what I mean? Never, dude. And this is not an excuse. Like he beat my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to take anything away from this man.
Yeah.
Right? Just sharing my experience. And I remember my mentality. I'm like, bro, I'm fighting at 125. These guys hit me. Nothing. That dude hit me harder than I've ever been hit. And it was a weird feeling. Cause there's those concussive punches where like a punch hits you and you know you're like, oh man, I can't get hit again, you know? Yeah. And then there's those weird ones where I experienced with him. Yeah. And it was he hit me and it didn't feel like I was gonna get knocked out or anything, but he sat me. Yeah. And I was like,
but you felt every bit of it.
Yeah, I was like, what was that, dude? Yeah, that threw me off. And I remember he dropped me. He ended up like taking my back, and then he finished me by rear naked choke. Never been submitted before. Yeah. I'm in Japan, so this was my first this is the big one. It was my first time on UFC Fight Pass. I was just like, oh, this is it. My daughter was just born, and I was just like, bro, like, I don't want to I remember that night, dude. Like, if you watch that fight, like, when the second I tapped, like, I literally grabbed my face and just, I
remember.
Just, break, bro. Like, it wasn't even about the fight, dude. It was like, how am I going to go? I'm already a failure as a dad. You know what I mean? Like, this relationship I'm in is, not it. Like, it's so toxic, and, I'm not going to speak about all that, you know? But, I'm going to go home to that as, like a failure who just got choked out in front of, the world, you know? And I remember that night, dude, I was just walking around, Japan, just, and it was the most gloomy, weather, and I was just, honestly, dude, I thought about, some, you know? Fuck, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then it's a string of, just bad experiences after that I chose. You know what I mean? I didn't take that sign. It's I'm gonna keep on driving.
Yeah.
When I'm tired, I'm gonna keep on fighting when I need to chill for a second and reset, recalibrate, and go back at it. You know, deal with the other things. Cause honestly, fighting. If you are just fighting and there's nothing else going on, it's a lot. It's not. It's still hard. Fighting's hard, but it's a lot simpler. You know?
For sure.
And then you got life. I'm trying to finalize a divorce and make sure I can Kyrie's with me, and you know I'm losing these fights. I got knocked out in training because you know, it was just one bad thing after another, and just my stubbornness. I just kept pursuing, you know. And I remember during this time, Rick, our mentor, our coach, one of our coaches, he was he honestly was I can't keep training you if you're gonna not make changes, you know. And then we separated for a bit, and that's why I was taking these fights and just you know, losing and stuff. And I remember when we started turn around, is I remember we met, we sat down, and he slides this folder over. He's if you want me to coach you, I'm gonna need you to initial here, sign here. I'm what is this, you know? He's I'm gonna have to take your phone after this hour. I was dude, you're crazy. No, but he's I'm not gonna train you then. And I was just wait. Give me the pen, you know? Man, sign it, and then we started turning things around, you know? And then winning here, and get this belt, get that belt. Eventually, we get a fight oh, we're supposed to go fight in the Philippines, right? And then I forgot what happened. I don't know if they wanted me over there or something, but they ended up flying the champion down here to defend his belt, and this is at strawweight, so I get another chance to kind of redeem myself, yeah. And this is my first time making the weight again since then. I did catch weights prior to build up to that title fight, but now for that title fight, I got to make that official weight, and I did, and that was a crazy fight. You know, I ended up like I won, and then got that belt, and then we get this call again from Japan. And they're like, "All right, do you want to come back to Japan and fight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." You know, but I'm in another part of my life now, and I'm like, okay, things are a lot better. Not everything's great, but it's better. I'm building up to that path, and this means a lot to me, dude. You know, because all the stuff that went down before a couple years ago, I had to take a couple years to get this opportunity again. And then this guy is like the number 2 ranked guy in Japan, and he's supposed to fight for the title. He just didn't want to wait. So they basically called me to go get choked out. Like, you want a ticket to Japan, go fight this fool, get choked out, and then go home. And to me, obviously, I'm like, that's not what's gonna happen, you know. But that's how the media and everything. I remember like on the, you know, some websites you can see like the percentages. I had like a 0% chance of winning, and this guy had like a 100%, like a lot of votes, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. You guys think I'm that bad? That is wild, you know. But I put everything into that camp, dude, and Adam Anselin ended up cornering me. You know, Rick don't want to fly to Japan. Right. But he was like helping, like, obviously.
He's got a bad back.
Yeah, he got a bad back. He's not gonna sit on that flight. So we ended up going, and this guy, man, he's like, if I could describe his fighting style, is very like, you remember Damian Maia? Yeah. Just like not the best stand up, but if like he takes you down, it's pretty much over. Yeah. Right? And that's all of his finishes were by rear naked choke. And that's what that dude got me with the last time. Yeah. You know? So, and then, so that whole fight, honestly, bro, I don't even think I did a cage round. It was all specifically to deal with this guy. Yeah. And, I remember, there's another fighter. He fought a lot in Japan, and he was a UFC vet, like a real legend, Darren Uyanama, the Bone Crusher, right? Yeah, and he he helped me a lot for that camp. He came down to AKA and like helped me a lot with the MMA grappling, and because he had success in going to Japan and like shutting down those like very submission-based fighters, right? So that helped a lot. But during that camp, I had popped my rib, and right, and then we circled back to that fight, and I take him down, and I remember he had some weird guard, like, and ended up like I'm on top, and then it popped my rib again, and I'm like, damn, dude, get up, go back to the corner, and I'm like, yo, my rib popped, you know what I mean, dude? And I was just like, okay, I just got to get through the next round, and I remember, cause they'll numb out, you know, and then I remember going out, and then like I drop him, boom, and then I'm like on top of him, and he throws like a up kick. But like I don't know, like a weird one. It missed me and came back down and hit my orbital here, like his heel. Bop. And then I was on top, and my eye just went black. I couldn't see nothing, and I was just like, oh. And I backed up. I like told him to stand up, and then I was just trying to like, you know, play it off for a little bit, and then I immediately forgot about this, you know, and then yeah, man. Yeah, it's a battle, and I remember like I'm up. Because I'm stuffing these takedowns, I'm beating him up, making him pay for these takedown attempts, and then at some point in that round, he ends up reversing me somehow. I forgot, but he ends up on my back, bro, and he starts fighting for that same choke again, and I just remember thinking, I'm like, bro, I can hear the crowd going crazy, dude, and I'm just like, dude, you gotta put me to sleep today, because I'm not tapping, dude. I cannot come back to this country and go out the same way, you know, because I was like, bro, I don't even know if I was going to leave last time. Honestly, I was so down, dude, you know, and I was just like, dude, I am not, like, take me out here, brother, you know what I mean? And I remember like reversing the position. He couldn't get the choke. I fought that. He tried, and then I ended up reversing. I ended up on top, and as I defended the choke, I could literally feel his spirit just like
crazy, right? You can feel that.
You can literally feel like them breaking, you know, in mid fight, you know, and like you know how that is, you know, and I reversed. I'm on top, and I just like feel his like spirit crush, and I just start beating the shit out of him, dude. You know, and he's broken. I could tell he's breaking, dude. So he don't even want it anymore, you know. Next round, he makes the round, and it's like the last round, and I just like I knew he was done. And I just came out, and I finished him with a straight right, boom. Yeah. And then he didn't want to get up, like to a point, like I was like, get up, dog, you know. And then it was done. Like the ref stepped in, and that meant so much to me, you know. It was like all the way around.
You reversed it.
You know what I mean? You know? And then back to the orbital. So I didn't know it was broken. I got backstage, I'm hyped and stuff, and then my nose there's a little blood. So I blow my nose, bro. I blow my nose, and as I can feel the air leaving my nostril, my eye inflates like I can see it coming out as I blew my nose. I got so scared. I went and I sucked it back in, and my eye goes back in my eye. God. It was the weirdest feeling ever, dude. Dang. It was wild.
And you didn't go to the doctor?
Where, bro? I'm in Japan, dude. And then I didn't care. I won. I was like, I don't care. I didn't know it was broken. Even then, I was just like,
yeah, let's go.
I was like,
Saki,
you know?
Saki.
Yeah. And then, bro, came back home, and then one championship hits me up, right? I'm like, oh, what? Let's go, you know? And then I end up, they sent a contract. I'm starting to do like medicals and stuff. And I got to do all these medicals to get to the licensing for this fight. And then I found out my eye's broken. And I was like, oh, dang, it's like broken. Yeah. And yeah, a lot, like you were touching on earlier, I remember Rick, a whole bunch of other coaches like, oh, you're done. That's it. Like, you can't fight anymore. You know, you should just retire, you know? And then, nope, you know?
Did that bother you? Like when you have, it's not just strangers. Mm-hmm. It's the people who really, really mean a lot to you that are telling you to stop. Like that, honestly, man, that would sting. For me, if I'm doing something and I'm putting all my passion into it, all this hard work, all the hours, the sleepless nights, sacrificing everything, and then you have the people around you saying, no, you're done. It's like, wait, no, we still have stuff to do. No. We're done. Yeah. That, man.
That's hard, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm putting myself in those shoes, and I probably would get very, very angry.
Yeah. In that moment, I didn't necessarily get angry because it was more of I could tell it was a care thing. Yeah. You know, like, bro, your face is broken. I don't know you keep doing this. You know what I mean? But I knew, like, in my heart, I don't know why. I just knew, like, this isn't done. But, like, circle back to now, and I'm having those conversations with, like, mentors and coaches. Now I feel it because I'm actually, entertaining the idea. I was talking to Nandi about this. Like, I can't even, because like we've been really getting like closer, you know, closer to each other and like and to Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And I start to dissect my life a little bit, and I'm like, man, this dude had his hand on me this whole time because there's stuff I'm not even talking about. Like I knew like I shouldn't have walked out of, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? And every time I'm just like, that's me. I'm like, dang, lucky me, you know, like, but there's luck. And then there's like, bro, that can't be luck. Like how many times are you going to get away with that? You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too, like to touch on the mentorship thing and like, the coaching thing. That's like obviously something I always want to do, but not solely because I enjoy fighting, combat, martial arts and stuff. And I enjoy teaching, but also like, what if those guys didn't like mentor me? You know what I mean? Where would I be? What if like I didn't step into the gym? You know what I mean? Because like we were talking about earlier, bro, I was like, if you see me when I was in high school, bro, oh man,
you would tell me that.
oh, dude, like, I feel so bad about things, you know? And I'm like, Jesus, like, that was me, man. You know, but it led me to the gym,
Yeah.
you know? And since that, I literally have not gotten to, like actual problems like I would in the past,
Yeah.
you know? And I always wanted to do that. What these guys did for me, like, I always wanted to do that. Like, pay it forward,
Yeah.
you know? And I feel like the best way I can do that is through, like, what I'm best at, you know, like coaching, teaching, and stuff. And outside of that too, I'm trying other things like right now I'm in the process of this like this big brother, big sister program, and I'm gonna get like a little homie to kind of mentor and stuff.
Nice,
And I'm getting matched up right now, and it's pretty cool. Like you get to meet up with them like every like twice a month for like a year, and like take them on events and like just like mentor them, you know. And
dope,
I'm like,
man.
dude, that's what these guys did for me, you know.
Yeah.
So
And it's funny because I try to see Rick. I try to go visit him, but he's just like, Daniel, leave me alone. Like,
Yeah.
go enjoy your life. Enjoy
Yeah.
yourself, son. You've had enough of me. But it's like, no, like I crave that. Like I crave that time. I have never had an individual break me down the way he did.
yeah,
He saw right through me. I was just like, geez, like, where did this come from? Who was your mentor?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where did you come from? Like,
What
yeah,
happened
bro.
to you? And I was like, no, honestly, he's like, it's good. The honesty is really good, you know? And sometimes, like, when it's coming from someone like you care about so much,
Yeah.
I remember camps, bro. My fiance would be like, maybe you shouldn't talk to Rick tonight. And I'm like, why? She's like, because when you get off the phone, you're like I've seen like you, like there's tears and stuff. And I'm like, and she's like, why? Like, he just tells you everything you do wrong. And I'm like, no, that's not it. It's like, because everybody tells me the only things I do right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I need that too. There's a balance, right? Kind of like we talked about earlier. You don't want to push too much on somebody, right? So it's like, that's something I'm balancing, like, as a mentor, like, like,
and
you know?
cornering and coaching, man. It's like your own unique approach.
Mhm.
But it's so funny, man, because I've always been a very technical critique kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, because Rick, I feel like he did that to me so well, and I needed that. I wish I had that my entire fight career.
Yeah.
But ego is kind of like, I'm not ready for that. And then when you lose on a consistent basis, and you're like, I need an adjustment. I
Yeah.
need change. And I knew every time I trained with you, and I knew how you worked, and I knew how you approached the game, I was like, it's the same thing with Marcus Aurelius. People talk about Marcus Aurelius all the time, but what about his mentor,
Yeah.
Epictetus? So like you, I looked up to you in my fight career. I was like, okay, but who's instilling knowledge into him?
Yeah, that's right.
And
Because it
every
trickles
ti-
down.
It
right?
trickles down. And then
Yeah.
when I saw Rick come into the room all the time, I'm like, this guy's just quiet. I was like, I know Rick. I was like, I've known Rick since amateur. We talked, laughed, so and so. But I was like, I don't know him.
Yeah.
And when I met him, man, he broke me down like as if he knew me his entire life.
Yeah.
I was like, there's something about this guy, but it's like he breaks everything down so well, and you need it. But I agree with you too, man. Like it was a lot of pressure trying to impress him.
Yeah.
But you need that.
Yeah. Like
So-
you said, that fear, it's not even like I fear him. It's like, I don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know, like how I was talking about with my brother. I feel that because, like, I didn't, you know, especially that last fight, dude. Like, I thought I won that, you know? I remember him, like, before they raised my hand, he's like, you did it, bro. And then they raised this motherfucker. And I was just like,
Politics, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
didn't do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, politics, bro.
It's the dirty thing about fighting, and it's so great that you have that experience to pass on to your fighters. You know, because your brother, he's young in the fight game, very talented, very skillful, has a bright future. He's going to step into those promotions one day where the high favored is on the other side.
Yeah.
And you have to put a statement. You have to put a statement to the point where it's like, if you don't put him away, they'll just give it to the other guy.
Exactly.
If he did slightly, if it looks like he did some damage and it was like good enough, like, yeah, we could give it to the other guy.
Yeah.
It's a dirty
And that's
game.
exactly what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, again, I don't want to boo me, you know, because it's in my control. You know, I could have pushed further. I really just thought I was up, you know?
Yeah.
But also, like, we spoke of, like, bro, when you're stepping into a promotion that's, like, ran by the guy who is his coach. Like, he trains at that gym, and this guy runs the promotion, and it's a title fight. Who do you think they want that belt to go to, bro?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And, like, I don't know. My opinion, that was actually a really interesting fight for me because, like, I think we were supposed to fight overseas in like, for one. I forgot what happened. I think he got released. I think he lost to Lito, right? And then he went his way. I got released in a way, you know. I didn't really lose, but I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back, and I ended up leaving that promotion as well. And then like it worked out because I'm looking for someone at strawweight to fight in the U.S. pretty non-existent.
Yeah.
Okay, he's looking for someone. You know, and he's training in Sacramento. I'm over here in San Jose. I was like, how did this not happen earlier? Yeah. You know, and then the fight came together for that belt, and
It's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
It was good, bro. Like, what an experience. Like, honestly, that camp, I felt the best I ever felt, and just like real in tune.
Yeah.
You know, like with my corners, like Cain Velasquez, Jeremy Mendez, and my brother Chris. Like, I remember in that fight, I'm like, he's gonna throw it, and I was just like I see it, dude. You know what I mean? Like, we're meeting with, like we used to, you know, like watching tape and like breaking stuff down. He's always throwing this. He does this before he does it, you know. And we really got on the same page. Even the drills, like Ron was running for the whole team. It was like centered around what I was gonna deal with.
Yeah.
Bro, felt so good when I stepped in there, you know. But you know, and that's the thing, like, that's what I'm battling with right now, because I'm like, bro, honestly, if they gave me that decision, I might have been out, dog. I might have been like, I think I'm good, you know? And that's what I'm like, that's what is making it hard for me to, like, do I want to fight right now? Because, like, if that's what's going to make the difference, like, there's not really much to consider, huh?
Yeah.
You know? But I don't want to see me saying that out loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, it really takes like years off you, bro, for real.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a tough thing, man. And like, we were talking about meditating on it, you know? Because that's the other thing too. Like, now I'm like stepping back into that, like how I felt like fighting was like my religion, you know? Like day in, day out, all day. When that's a tough thing for fighters, you know, because that's like to get to like that level, that's gotta be your identity. So when you do lose and stuff, you're like, bro, what am I doing? You know, you gotta have something outside of that. And luckily I had my family to hold on to. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have Kyrie, rewind to that first fight in Japan. If I didn't have Kyrie, bro, what would have happened? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Talking about that hand on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like in a strange way, you probably didn't even realize it back then. If it's like almost like God's hand was always on you.
Always. That's
you know?
what when I kind of
crazy, right?
look back, I'm like, hey, he had to be, right? Because there's like certain situations I don't. How? You know?
Yeah.
Even now, like, not even the negative stuff. Like, I mean, look at where I'm at, like with my family and like the opportunities I get. Like, I couldn't be more blessed, dude. You know, which is, it's so funny because when I sit back and just like appreciate everything around me. You know, it sounds so simple. You know, these are just, and it's a lot harder to do with like real life going on every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But dude, just sit back and then just think. Like, I remember in the past, you know, we talked about like when we were having a conversation with a good friend, a significant other, anybody, and they're like venting to you about something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why don't we just do this? You know what I mean? It's not that simple. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is, but it isn't. Like, yeah, I might be giving you the technical advice, but let's look at our own life. Yeah. You know, what things that, like, you and I both know that we need to do, we need to address. And it's simple as that. Yeah. I could write it out, but to do the action, you know, there's a lot of, like, other stuff going on that could inhibit that, right?
I have 2 more questions for you, my man. All right, brother. So let's say this is your podcast. Okay. This is your show. Anthony Doe is the host of High Value Discussions. If you had a question for me what would it be?
It's like after all this, after fighting, what brought you to this specifically?
Curiosity, I would say. Definitely curiosity. Fighting. I was always curious on like certain athletes when I was in the game, why they did what they did, why they had a certain style that they stick to, why they move here, why they do this, and why do they make the mistakes, like partying and so on and so forth. Like why? Curiosity, curiosity, curiosity. So people intrigue me, people fascinate me, and I love to learn from people. I invest in my literacy, obviously, and I'm a constant religious reader. One of the whole points of starting a show is just like, I love people and I'm curious about people and I'm trying to learn from everybody. Everybody has a different perspective and a different story. And luckily for me, I got the best seat in the house, man. You know, like they talk about judges and referees, they got the best seat in the house. Like when it comes to the fight game, dude, I got the best seat in the house when it comes to being on a show. Because I don't consider it mine. I consider it like you guys. It's like, this is the guest's show. It's not my show. It's for you guys. It's just, I have the platform for you guys to show off. That's the whole point of this. It's not about me. It's about you guys. So the thing about what's great about me on this side is like, I'm just a curious one and get to learn. That's all I want to do is just learn and be on here. Because when I'm not around my family, when I'm not around you, when I'm not around Rick, etc., I'm just learning. That's what I want to do because I spent so much time not learning. I spent so much time ignoring information and knowledge to the point where all I want is more of it. So doing all this, man, curiosity.
Because doing like what you're doing is honestly is really dope. Like I would love to do something like that. I feel like I don't have like that I don't think I have that.
You could, bro.
Conversation skill
Dude, you could. You just did it, bro. Like, dude, think about it. It's like a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just chopping over my boy, to be honest. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, like you having guests, like maybe you're not like. We didn't go to war with and like have these experiences with. You know what I mean?
Like, there's some people I'm meeting for the first time, and I shouldn't even be talking to them. Like. They're like at a certain status of life.
See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I don't have, like, I don't want.
You'd be shocked because I don't. I interviewed a venture capitalist. So these guys are the big boys.
Yeah.
When I went into this guy's firm, I was like driving there. What? I don't deserve to be in that kind of environment. So I had to walk in there like I've been here before, you know? So it almost like flipping that switch was like, dude, like act like you've been here before because he's going to see right through you.
Yeah.
So when I was here talking, like a normal conversation, having fun, laughing, etc. He passed on a lot of value, a lot of information. I was very grateful for his time. But
see, we talk about fighting. I'll go off, bro. I'll go off. I can do that. You know what I mean? But like,
but all this, man, is built from curiosity. Everything I do is just built on curiosity. And man, put the skills to work.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like I wouldn't consider myself a great conversationalist. That's why I'm trying to get better at my vocabulary. That's why I'm trying to practice my tongue because I don't feel like I'm the best. And I'm definitely not the best. And there's so many people in this space, in the podcasting space. So it's like, how do I make my wave in here in this game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do I make my name a household name in this space? Well, I got to feed the podcast properly. You know, I can't just have anybody on here. I got to feed it properly by having people like you, having the people that I want on here that give value. That's all it is, man. So my brother, my very last question to you, my man. So in your experience, brother, I love how you tasted both worlds when it comes to defeat and victory. And it gave you the best lessons of just keep going and keep pushing through. But there's a lot of guys that you're going to be coaching. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be mentoring down the road. And they're going to be questioning themselves at times. And they're just going to be looking at you like, and I don't know where I'm going to do with my life. I don't know if I'm going to be great in this career. I'm losing consistently. What do I have to do? What adjustments do I have to make? And how do I do it? What would you tell them?
Well, if there's a young fighter that's going through any of that, I would suggest like number one, and this is easier said than done, right? Because I have trouble with this myself. Like just to be honest with yourself, like right now. All right, my situation, like with do I want to fight? Do I not want to fight? Like, honestly, I feel like I think I know what I want to do, you know? But, like, I'm so attached to the idea of, like, what I wanted and control, right? I think it's important to be honest with yourself, be open to the advice, but like you're gonna have to walk your own path, right? and figure this out for yourself, because you could like, for example, if I listened to everybody that told me I shouldn't have fought, or I would have never pursued any of this. Right? I wouldn't have learned all these lessons. I wouldn't have met all these people, right? And it's important to not let the world form your opinion for you, right? Because you're gonna hear it, especially when you take an L. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna, right? Because that's how fighting works. It's like, you're only in your last performance. They look me up and they're like, "Oh, he lost his last one." You know, 0. You know what I mean? But
Crazy.
think about yourself and then your inner circle, the people that you actually care about.
Yeah.
Like, what are they telling you? Because as uncomfortable as it is, it's coming from probably an honest place, and it's coming from love. And that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
So being honest with yourself is so important, not just in fighting, but in life,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of a hard thing to do, to like face yourself and like tell yourself like, hey, maybe there's things that are more important these days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my thing right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I would suggest to any up and coming fighter. Like, you love it, then put your all into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just weigh your options, because like we talked about, business, family, fighting, to be at the highest level of either one of those, like those others out there. It's like MMA, bro. I can relate anything to MMA.
I do it all the time.
Anything.
All the time.
Bro, you just work on your striking, your wrestling's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be well-rounded.
That's everything.
But you're
I
not gonna
relate
be
to
sharp at
everything.
everything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that would be my advice.
Yeah, that's beautifully said, brother. Are there any closing statements you'd like to give for the podcast, my man?
Well, one thing I want to say, 2 things, and they're not really about me entirely, all right? But one, my brother, Chris Doe, he's gonna be making his professional debut soon, so I would love to, get that out there.
Yeah.
And that will be at the Tech CU Arena for Scott Coker's promotion, and I wish him the best of luck. I know he's gonna be better than me. If he wants to pursue this fighting thing, he's gonna be. And honestly, he's like already like, he's right there.
He's
like,
scary. He's scary.
He's gonna take it as far as he wants to take it. You know what I'm saying? So, I love him, and I just want to support him in that. Secondly, also, I'm gonna get married soon. So,
let's go, baby.
I'll be getting married soon, and like real soon, like April. You know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, this podcast is gonna probably drop sometime in April.
Yeah. So I'll be a married man, dude. You know?
How does that feel?
It feels. Hey, honestly,
Dude.
it feels real.
Right.
It feels right. Like this time around, like things are just like,
Love it,
it's
brother.
good.
I love it,
It's
my
good.
man. Well, bro, honestly, man, it was a blessing to see you 2 weeks ago, bro. And like, honestly, everything that you gave me, everything you passed down to me was a blessing. Like, we talk about how we had God's hand on us throughout our career, throughout our entire life, but we also had phenomenal people around us to guide us the right way.
Yeah.
And you were one of those people for me, man. And that's what I was telling you off here is like, I am forever indebted to you guys, because you guys made me into different people. You guys made me into the man that I am today. And even though I don't see you guys on a constant basis and talk to you guys on a constant basis, regardless, I am forever indebted to you guys. That's when I see you guys, it's like, man, I owe them my life, because they enhanced my life. Regardless of how time, I haven't been in the fight game in 5 years. It doesn't matter. If I'm 74 years old, 97 years old, doesn't matter. That will always live with me. You guys are my brothers for life. My brother, I am so damn proud of you. You're about to be married. You got a beautiful family by your side. Oh man, that's winning.
Yeah.
That's winning in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fighting, the career, the success, phenomenal. It's beautiful. The family, that's the real win. My brother, part 2 coming soon. Thank you so much for coming on, my man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. If you got a lot of value out of this, please do me a favor and support our channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Make sure to hit that follow button on Spotify to stay updated with our latest episodes. And if you are listening on Apple Podcast, I would greatly appreciate it if you would leave a 5-star rating, followed by with a review. Again, thank you all for the support. Stay loving, stay hungry, and stay excellent.